Talk about it with Franjez. Today's special guest is the owner of No Limit Auto Body and the Art Concierge. Today's guest is Oren Schneider.
Thank you. Nice to be here, man.
Thank you very much for being here.
Happy to.
Good. Let's start off with a little wellness check. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. The weather is finally getting to where it's supposed to be cold, so that means everything's good, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like the cold better
No,
than
I just like normal.
Oh, so it's happened normally.
Yeah, I get a little nervous, when it just stays warm in New York in December almost.
Right?
It gets a little nerve-wracking for me. I think it's the end of the world, which it almost is, so I just don't want it to come too soon.
It is. It's scary. Yeah. It used to be freezing cold by October.
When I was a kid, I swear, it was like October to, I don't know, April. It's like just straight brick.
Yeah.
Puffer jacket, blizzards. I feel like I don't know what a blizzard is. I don't think kids know what blizzards are anymore. There's none of that.
Blizzard of 96?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore. It's like, I don't know, they change into something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. Where were you born?
Great question. Hold on, I'm calling Mom. I was born in Manhattan at a maternity ward. Yeah, in 1985. Yep, and then I grew up in Yonkers until I was about 13 years old. Moved to Rockland County until I was about 18. And I lived in the city from like 19 and a half to like 30 or 32.
Nice.
And now I found myself back here in Yonkers, opening a body shop, which is pretty cool because I love cars. And it gives you like that freedom of like whatever you want to do, where I work on normal cars and I have my project cars, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So that brings me here.
Where did the cars come into your life?
Well, my dad was actually a drag racer, professional drag racer, yeah. And his whole deal was, back then, is obviously he was born in the 30s, so he raced in the 60s, I believe, or 50s and 60s. So it was obviously all American cars. It wasn't like people had like tuners or imports then. It was all American cars. So a lot of the cool cars like Camaro, well, 60s, 70s Camaros, SS's, stuff like that. And he raced something called an AMC Rambler. It was the American Motor Company it stood for. And his car was not technically like a racing car. So every part he had to buy, he had to convert. So it was like a big deal. And he got it running pretty good, won a lot of races. So I think it's kind of like somewhat hereditary. Both my older brothers like cars too. We've always done stuff with cars. I've had other businesses with cars, like a concierge company. So I'd have to say it came from my dad, and he had a couple cool cars growing up. I think every boy likes, not most boys like cars. Everyone finds their own thing, but who doesn't like a fast, noisy thing when you're young?
Yeah, that's got to be exciting as a kid.
Yeah, no.
What was that like? Did your father bring you to the track or anything?
Well, I think my older brothers ruined it for me. They crashed their go-karts, and they're like 10 years. Yeah, my brothers crashed their go-karts, and they were 10 years older than me, so all the fun stuff was taken away by the time I grew up. I still had a good growing up, childhood, but we didn't do too much of that stuff. I think my dad was like, I don't want to, push this on the kids because maybe they might go down the negative route. I think he was noticing that. But as we get older, we went to some tracks, my brothers and I, and we did some rallies, did a lot of car stuff. So I enjoyed every aspect, everything from like classic cars to, exotic cars. I have appreciation for it all. They're all pieces of art, especially the classic cars. When you start seeing, one, back then it was so much more handmade, this stuff, and it's intricate actually, it's almost like a sculptor making a car, because they're literally making it with their hands. So I really appreciate those. Even the lines, I find a lot of older cars way more sexy and beautiful, the lines on them, than these new cars. I found a lot of new cars that look the same, and like if you took an older car, depending on it, it almost could even live today and look brand new if you didn't know it was an older car. So I really enjoy older cars. I've realized working more and more with them.
Well, what are your favorite brands, car makers?
Car makers? Well, my favorite specific car and brand growing up was called a Vector W12. It is an American exotic car company. They made like 2 or 3 cars. It was like a W12, a W8, and something else. And they're like extremely futuristic. They started in like 89, 1990, and like looks like a UFO flying around, like insane.
Oh, nice.
And Lamborghini Countach growing up. Those are like my favorite cars. Now I would say, as an adult and being practical, it's like I would rather be like in a Range Rover if I'm in the Northeast, so deal with the weather and comfortability. If I was maybe in Florida, it'd be like a Maybach S-Class. You know what I mean? Something like that. Those cars I think are like the best all around. Like you could drive yourself, be driven in it, and it could pretty much take out any terrain. And you could kind of pull up to any situation in it without feeling maybe too much out of place either way. You pull up in a Lambo to like some event, it might be like a bit too much. One, just even on the pull up, like, it's kind of like, and it depends. If you want that attention, then you're good. But if you're just like, you might But most likely, if you have a Lambo, you got a second car, so you could go in the second car. That's where that event is. They don't want to go 1, 2. So,
Absolutely. I love it. I used to be big into cars.
yeah.
Lately, not so much, but I still have it in me.
It's, you know what it is? Cars are cool, and everything's cool, material things are cool, but once you figure out a couple of things, you're like, you know what? If I want it, I'll get it one day, whatever it is, but it doesn't really like fulfill you, and you're like, you have other stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's a maturity thing. Not saying people with certain cars aren't. I think they probably have the other stuff already figured out. That's why they got those cars. But if you don't, it's like, you know, figure out the other stuff makes you happy, because the instant gratification is exactly what it is. It's instant. Yeah. And it fleets just as fast. So it's like, enjoy those nanoseconds or whatever, until you become completely jaded where the instant gratification no longer exists, even, and just chasing high that's not even there. So that's I agree with you with that a little bit.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about high school. What were those years like?
High school was cool. I was
were you driving to school and stuff like that?
Yeah, I drove to school.
And was your your car cool or just?
Nah, it was all right. I bought off my sister, who bought off my dad. It was a good car. It was a Cavalier Z24. But thankfully, I have 2 other brothers where I could nag them or annoy them enough or figure out a barter deal enough where a couple times we had to drive some cool cars to school. Like one time, my brother John, I don't know if he was a Marine, but I think he was still a Marine then. So his cars would always be at home because he was away somewhere. So he'd be like, you take a car. So I took a car once.
What was it?
He had an 87 Grand National.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was raining that day. And he's like, just be careful. I didn't crash it, but I almost crashed it. And I realized why they call that thing the coffin on wheels. Because that thing went way out. The back just went way out. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, this will be a one-day thing for me. I don't really want to. And it was like his favorite car ever, like as a kid. So I was like, and he was in tremendous shape. So I don't want to, it felt like it was going to be a movie. I'm going to crash his car.
Absolutely.
He comes home. I'm going to duct tape it. It wouldn't be a good ending. Something with that much testosterone at that age, Coming from the Marines.
How'd that fear of that fishtailing affect your driving from that point forward?
Oh, at that age, it felt great. Nothing feels better than adrenaline.
Oh, so it wasn't scary.
At 17, no, it's scary, but it felt good. Adrenaline at 17, you don't know what to do with it. It's like, oh, that's good. I want more.
I see.
I hit the gas a couple more times like an idiot, but I was more careful. Obviously. I don't think I was really more careful. I thought I was more careful.
Yeah.
But
I see. And then after high school comes John Jay College, right?
Yeah. I thought I wanted to be in criminal justice, and I thought I wanted to be in FBI due to the fact that I watched a lot of movies. And I thought it's pew, 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 pew. And then I was working this is very random, and I'm not going to go too deep in this, but I was working as a babysitter for a guy that was a psychic. That's just a whole other thing. And he had a lot of interesting friends. And one of his friends was in the FBI for 20 years. And when his friends came to town, we would go to lunch and talk to them. So I was like, I want to talk to Sam, I think it was. And he's like, all right. So me and Sam went to lunch alone. And I was like 21, 20 at the time, I think 20, still in college. And I was, hey, what did you do after? And he's like, yeah, you're going to 95% be behind the desk. There's really no field work. This is the pay. The interview, if any of your friends are in any illicit or nefarious business, probably not a good idea because they can check all that. And this, and this. The pay was extremely low to start with. The fact that he's like, you're behind the desk, I was like, no. And he goes, and if you go in the field, you then go back behind the desk and fill out paperwork. So either way you can find it, it's very, very, very few people that are really in the field. And I was like, that was the biggest turnoff. And I actually left with 18 credits left because I was like, which looking back, I wish I finished, but I'm not mad I didn't. But that kind of put me off. And I went to that college because they actually had a co-op program with the FBI where if you get certain grades and you get completion, they get you in like an entry level, so you're in, and then you kind of like, if they like you, they give you a job. So I had like a plan at that age. So everyone has a plan until they find out what life is, and then realize that's not your plan. Like when I was younger, I wanted to be a chef. When I was 16, I wanted to be a chef. I still love to cook. And I met 3 chefs, and I found out if you want to be a chef, your holidays are gone, so you're probably not going to have a great relationship with your wife, right? Unless she works with you. You're not going to see your kids on holidays, and then you work crazy hours if you're the chef. And then if you want to be a chef that makes money, because that's a whole other business, then you're working even more for at least 20 years so you have a name if you're lucky, and then, you could get people to fund you and maybe make restaurants. But it's like beyond passion. And then the margin on food is, unless you have a bar and their liquor, it's like you're really pushing hard. So you got to really love to make food to be giving up holidays and all that. It's definitely a passion job, I feel like. So originally I wanted to be a chef, and then from there, I thought criminal justice, but no. Nope, no.
I used to want to be a chef too, and then I learned the same thing. It's like, when do restaurants close? Late night.
Yeah.
Late night.
Hopefully, because if not, that means... now there's some different restaurants. There's restaurants now, which is very new, that I know only serve dinner.
Oh yeah.
But that's very new, I feel like, or a couple in the old. But it's like, or if you're serving dinner, you this is a very established place. That,
exactly.
And I know one that only serves dinner and doesn't even work weekends. That's how established it is.
Yeah.
But that's like the and the only way you get there is because you have a resume of 20 years.
You put in the work.
Right. So you still.
Yeah.
And
there's food is that good.
Yeah.
And that expensive too, because it's that good, and you don't have to be open all day.
Yeah. So.
But starting off, you're not going to be doing that.
I think that's. I don't want to say the one of the toughest because it's obviously physically more laboring jobs. But I think I never did it for long. I did a little cooking, but I can't imagine like the pay and doing those hours unless it's like you have that drive. Because I sometimes have never wanted to quit anything I do, but I thought about pivoting. Let's call it, not quitting. And I always found the way out of it because I loved what I did, so it was cool. But that's tough. Yeah, and it's hot as hell in the kitchen too. So it's like, oh shit, they sent the dish back, and then you're already hot itself, like getting tight about the situation, and then physically you're dealing with heat, and that's never a good thing. That's just gonna raise everything. So I just thought about. I never.
Yeah, one bad Google review too. Imagine.
Oh, nowadays, and that thing's instantly walk right out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's very tough business.
Yeah,
very tough.
God bless all the chefs and all those people in business. Good luck.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the art concierge.
Sure. So I've been in the art world for the last 10 years and mainly managing one artist. I only manage one artist, King Saladin, and then recently I've been consulting with some others. So after, like you do anything, you start realizing stuff you enjoy in what you do and also stuff you want to build on. In the last year and a half, in the last 10 years, I've met a lot of great people in the art world. And in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've really created stronger bonds with these people and wanted to do more. So I have a friend who's an art appraiser. So something I offer, like through this business I have, the art concierges, is somebody has a piece they want appraised, I get it appraised. If somebody has a very serious piece they want to donate to a museum, I'm able to do that and do it correctly. A lot of this stuff it's not hard to do, but there's proper channels to do it, and also just having the right connections. On the collector side, with people when they reach out, I'm happy to help them locate a piece if they know what they want. And then as well as if someone just started collecting, like, a lot of things are trends these days and people get excited by stuff. And I feel like art has been a hot thing for the last 5 years to younger people, as opposed to, I feel like maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Not that it's meant for one people, but it's a smaller niche. And maybe because I'm in it, so I see more people in it, but I just feel like there's more people in the art world that are interested in it that weren't in it before. In general, even just the art the museum is showing, like, giving Swiss Beats a show of his own art. Like that wouldn't happen 20 years ago. And he brings a whole different audience in, obviously, which is a great thing, what you want. So, but with that being said, people go to shows, people see stuff on social media and might feel like, oh, this is what's relevant, this is what's cool, so I should like this. And then whether you buy that piece or you're looking at these pieces, it might not be something you like. So I try to help people figure out what they want to collect, and everyone's different because everyone has their own likes. And a lot of times it's like anything in life, you shouldn't jump into it. A lot of people in art world, depending on what they are, they're trying to sell you something. So it's like, no, I don't want to say make you jump into it, but they're like pushing stuff on you. If I have a talk with someone, a couple of talks, and once I see like where they are, it's like I'll make suggestions of whether it's specific museums to go to, specific exhibits, or even ways to walk around museums. Like I learned, like there's no proper way to walk around a museum, obviously. You may want to prioritize it, but one thing I learned is if you're going to a museum that you go to somewhat often, or you want to go look at, that's great, but it's also bad because what you do is, realistically, you have only so much time that you're gonna go to the museum for various reasons you're gonna leave, like long day or you have stuff to do. So what I've learned is once I've been to the museum twice, unless there's an exhibit I must see, I'll kind of either randomly go to a place or I'll look through the index and find the area I think I'll be least interested in. Because like in life, you'll be surprised, you might bump into someone or something, or hear a quote that you would never listen to, or music that kind of hits something in your head. So I was with my appraiser and he took me to an area in the Met, which was Indian watercolors, where I'll be honest, I don't not like watercolor art, but it doesn't excite me when I'm in the Met, which is like one of the grandest museums in the world, and I've never been through its entirety, so there's always something new to see. There's always a new exhibit. So I wasn't like, yeah, let's go there. But he told me, he's like, let's go to somewhere where you wouldn't normally go. And this won't always happen, but I was like, one, I have a great, let's call it teacher, mentor with me, so like, I do enjoy history, so going there with him, I'm not just enjoying the art, I'm enjoying why the art was made, because art back in the day wasn't just art, it was a way of communication. Not everyone had written skills back then. So drawing whatever told the whole story or a little bit of a story. So it was more to it. Just them creating the art they didn't go to Blick or Michaels to buy the paint. You know what I mean? So it's like even them creating the colors they did, everything was working. It's interesting to me. But I was surprised how much I enjoyed that exhibit. And I spent like over an hour and a half there and like had questions, reading each plaque, and I really enjoyed it. So
This was the watercolors that you weren't excited to see?
no, I don't mind watercolors, but I'll never go look at them. But especially when it's like
I mean, that
Indian,
day,
it was
you
very
enjoyed it?
Yeah, very much.
It
But
was the
it was just so
watercolors.
specific where it's like I never looked at Indian art, not like Indian art. It's never been my thing because I've never looked into it. And Indian watercolor, I was like surprised. So I'll tell collectors, I'll give them suggestions from galleries when they first start out because I think it's like anything. You never want to overload or over censor yourself. Like someone, go to this. And it's like, you went to 10 galleries in a day, you're going to get nothing out of it. Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be like, go to one gallery and lunch. Or if they want to hang out with me, I'll hang out, and we'll do, and I'll kind of see how they're taking it in. But I'll have a conversation with people, and I usually have a good idea of where they should start or go based on that, whether it's a small museum, whether it's 3 galleries on the same street, so it's not a lot of moving around, and then kind of have a recap. And then from there, it's like, they might be like, wow, I really found something I like, and you could hear in their voice, and you could hear how they're describing it, and it's like, hey, you may be ready to move on something, or we could find you something of a different artist, but similar art. Because the other problem with social media, which is great, you might see some artists that you think are doing stuff, and they are, but they really aren't, because you get caught up in the social media, and they're asking astronomical amounts of money, and there's so many talented artists out there, and I've heard it too many times where it's like someone buys something, and they spend a bunch of money, and then like 5-6 years later, it's worth nothing, and it's because these artists will come out hot and moving, but really not have a plan, but not understand like there's a way to move in the art world, just like any world, and you really want to select your buyers. Because that's what really creates your market. The stronger your buyers are, the stronger your market is, It's like anything. If you have good people coming to your shop, other good people are going to come. So if you have strong art collectors buying your art, more strong art collectors will buy it. If you have people that maybe aren't the strongest art collectors, you never know why if they buy art, what they're going to do with it. Maybe they donate it, but they don't, or they sell for less. So you want to, that's your brand. That's everything. And I would say art is probably the one world where there's, I don't see no comeback from, but I've never seen like a comeback, and maybe there has because there's so many artists out there. But like, you could be an actor and go look at Robert Downey Jr. And there's
Oh, yeah.
like that guy's ultimate comeback. Look at Mike Tyson. Even like dude was broke, owed $50 million. He's worth hundreds of millions. Like there's so many careers where you could come back. Art is just like one where I don't think there's a comeback. So if it's truly something you want to be in and you want to make a career, I think you got to put some thought into it and also not get too excited and know when to say no and be patient. That's a talk I have a lot of people because art is not something people need to live. So if you're creating art and you're creating real art, I feel like your community will find you at some point as long as you're out there, because your community, meaning the people that will enjoy art because you're creating art that comes from you. I feel like if you go on social media, you'll find a lot of artists, not a lot, you'll find artists create art for other people. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about a commission piece that someone wants. I'm talking about like, oh, I should put Supreme on this because it'd be cool. And that's cool if that's like what your whole thing is, like super pop art, and maybe you come from that background, or maybe you were a streetwear designer, so you're doing this and it kind of relates and kind of like part of your storyline. But, and this is my opinion, which doesn't mean it's correct, and that's what's beautiful about art. It's subjective. So everything I'm saying could be completely incorrect to someone. And that could be correct for them because it could be incorrect. It's fine.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, when you're using certain elements that aren't yours, I think it's like anything. At a certain point, you want to be able to be like, oh, that's artist A, and you could tell not because his name at the bottom right, because his color palette, his layers, the way he like you could tell, and I think that's what one creates value because that shows the differentiation, but also it's like it makes it special, and then it's like the people that enjoy it are going to flock to it, and the most powerful part for me that I've seen is like when someone buys a piece of art from me, because I try to say I don't sell art, I don't want to sell art, I want someone to buy art because that means they want it. I'm not here to like sell anything to people, That's how I look at it, kind of, where it's like when they see the art and it speaks to them, and I hear what it meant to them and why the artist created it. Sometimes it's 2 different worlds, and it might be 2 different worlds because they're from 2 different worlds, or it might be like
interpretation,
even just interpret like. So it's especially when it's like Saladin does very intricate pieces. Sometimes they're simpler, but he's usually pretty layered. And like when he does his mixed media, there's a lot of messages in there. And I've sold a handful of those, and it's funny where we become very close with his buyers because he maybe only 3 or 4 deliveries in 10 years. He hasn't met them personally. Everyone.
Wow.
Yeah. And he sold a decent amount of art. But he does that because it's so special to him. And it's like coming from Philadelphia, for someone to spend X amount of dollars on the art, whether it's $1, $100,000, that's someone taking their hard-earned money and spend on him, not him, on a piece that he created from him, and they see value in it, and that's special, And I think that's special. Any artist, what happens where you sell that first piece or eventually you sell whatever piece, it's like people willing to spend money. It doesn't matter the price. And it's deeper because it means something to them. And they want to hang it, especially if they're not buying for investment purposes.
Yeah, I'm about to say, there's like two different buyers, right? The ones that actually love the art and the others that do it for investments.
There's definitely, well, there's a handful, but there's definitely A and B. There's investment art buyers, and that gets like in a very funny world of like, depending how well off you are, you might buy it as an investment because you want to resell it. It's a very good way, if you could hold $50 million in a painting, it's a lot easier to move $50 million in a painting than through bank accounts. If you made $100 million a year and want to do a write-off, you could buy a $4 million piece. It could be appraised for $10 million and you could get donated for $20 million. So it depends on the level who you are and what you're trying to do and why you'd buy it, because a lot of the investment pieces usually are stored away. No one's really enjoying. There's some museums that don't have real paintings up. They just store them away for safety,
Really?
Yeah.
There's all replicas out there?
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them are. It's like, why not? It's almost like it's almost like some celebrities I know back in the day, they got the real Rolex in the safe. And I'm like, I'm going to bang outside my fake Rolex. Yeah. Hitting walls and whatnot. It's like, scratching. It's like, why not? It's like, I know it's real. If I lose this one, it's okay.
I heard that before because like when you see somebody like that, you don't expect it to be fake. So you say, oh, no, of course it's real. But they're just out here protecting their real shit at home.
Yeah. So then you got the smart ones where it's like you assume it's real and they're like, why would I buy real ones? Because it's real.
Why buy any real ones?
I don't do that. Those are the real smart ones.
Even the ones at home are fake.
They got nothing at home. They got just the cash at home. They're like, why spend the cash?
There's some nice replicas out there.
Oh,
so
man.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Like, why not?
So when did you get into the art? You sound very knowledgeable and passionate about it.
No, I just watched YouTube before I came.
No, get out of here.
No, when I was younger, I believe, more and more as I get older now, I really believe we have like almost a set path. It's almost like those adventure books we read when we were younger. Remember those books you read? And it's like, skip to page 53 if you want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Or skip to page 74 if you want to do this. And you got a choice. And it's like, I feel like most stuff is kind of laid out for us. Not meaning like, oh, your life's like set, like that's it. But there's certain gifts I think we're all given. And once you kind of figure out what those gifts are, you lean into them. And if you're leaning into them correctly, it's a great life you're going to have. And if you fight them or feel like, oh, I need to do something else, it's just going to be tough. So as a kid, my grandma lived with me. And she was a really integral part of my family. Like we had Shabbat dinners every Friday. She cooked dinner. And when I lived in Yonkers, she lived right above. So every day, I don't know if every day, but most days I go up there and hang out with her. She gave me chocolate brownies. She was like a quintessential hugs and kisses and brownies and sugar. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's who she was, Grandma Lane. So I remember on multiple occasions, and she was considering when she grew up, and I don't know, she died a handful of years ago, like 5 years ago now, but she lived to 101, so she was born early 1900s. I don't know exactly the deal. Plane travel back then, how often it was, I can't imagine it's like now. But she went to Israel, Egypt. She was very traveled with her husband, loved traveling. So she was big into culture and art. So she took me and sometimes my mom with us, but mainly it was just me, maybe my brother or sister, to different museums. I wasn't like, oh my God, Grandma, I want to go to a museum, I'm 6. She would just bring me. And I didn't mind it because a lot of the art I saw was literal. It was like Grant Wood, which is an amazing American painter. And it was cool because it wasn't like abstract art. So I saw, okay, it's a farmer, it's a person, like, it's stuff I could understand. It wasn't too deep for me, but I knew what I was seeing. It wasn't like Jackson Pollock at 5 years old. I wouldn't understand what I'm looking at. I don't know if I still do today, I'll be honest. Dots and splashes, and he just did, good for him, good on him. But so what really got me into it though, and my grandma was very smart, like a lot of young boys back in the 90s, I guess it was, I was into the Turtles, obviously.
What do you mean?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, classic.
Like, yeah, into cartoons. I didn't know. I think my grandma just wanted to spend more time with me. I love my grandma, but you want your cartoons too.
Of course.
She explained to me each of those turtles are named after an artist. And I go, what?
Wow.
And I was like, no. She's like, no. And then she bought me a book for each of them. And one of them, which was already my favorite turtle, was Leonardo. And when I found out Leonardo da Vinci was not only an artist, an inventor, a scientist, and everything, I'm like, this guy's the smartest guy alive. I really this is my guy. And he's already my favorite guy as a turtle. This is crazy. I meant to. I was sick. And he built that for a helicopter. I'm like, this is the coolest dude ever. And I loved history as a kid, so I'm like reading so much, so it got me really into it. I liked Raphael, Michelangelo did a lot of amazing stuff, Donatello, but obviously Michelangelo's really big too, but nobody's as big as Leonardo, and he was the coolest turtle too, kind of. Depending, some people like Michelangelo, eat your pizza and all that. Raphael has his attitude, but so it depends. But so that even got me more into it because then I was like, I want this book, I want to do this. Leonardo, the Mona Lisa is like, and then it's like, hey, he had the most famous painting. So I was like, that kind of put me into it a bit. And then I learned history was so attached to art. especially then, I didn't really know. I didn't know any like real living artists. I wasn't hanging out with living artists then, or understand all that. I wasn't, hanging out in Soho, doing what those guys did. Thank God. Back then, when when you're an artist and it's cool,
Yeah.
there's other things that go with it.
Yeah.
So, but that's how I definitely got into it when I really think about why I enjoy art. And even as I got older, I remember when we went on little family trips to any city, my mom or I'd even want to go to like little museums. Not like I was like, hey, let's go to like. I wasn't like dying, but I enjoyed them. And there's more, I definitely know it was more that just getting the history from the museums, because there's always like the plaques next to it, why it was painted. And a lot of times it'd be like the scenery, like if you're at a seaport, the paintings would be a lot about boats and they explain, oh, this is the first time this boat came in or whatever. So I enjoyed that. I think I enjoyed the history more than the art. And that's why I went to the museums probably. And that's what got me into it mostly.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. That's deep. Grandma, she sounds like a great person.
Oh, she was amazing, Grandma Lane. She was, fun one. She would give me once a week my word of the week to use. She was a very good person. I was very fortunate. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
You mentioned how you believe we have a not necessarily a purpose, but like a natural gift, a talent. What do you think yours is?
Well, I think it goes hand in hand. Your gift, your purpose, whatever. I think sometimes people, not you just now, but I have a lot of conversations. Sometimes conversations with people from around the world, and I think people get hung up on words too much instead of what they should be doing. So it's like, not that you hung up on that, but it's like, oh, do I have a gift or a purpose? Like, whatever it is you have, lean into it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I feel like, for me, I think I'm pretty good at relating and understanding people. I'm sure some people know me pretty well say I talk over them or interrupt them. I've worked on that a lot. But if you're not my friend, I'm very, very patient with you. So just don't ever become my friend. And people really enjoy that. I have really, really good connections with that. So I'd say, and I have a pretty good insight of like where to take stuff and a vision. Like I was able to meet Saladin. I met some other artists. I met some other talented people in different fields that I connect. And I think I have a pretty good eye for talent, no matter what, not just art, like in all fields, and really good at connecting people that need to meet. I've learned, I think. I've connected a lot of people selflessly, which I enjoy. And that's, this is how you know you're good at something. You enjoy it. And like and you're not like, oh, I hope I get something from it. Like, I think that's what it is. When you're able to do something and you're not worried about anything. So when I have calls, like I had some calls today with some art people, and I threw some ideas at them where there's people tell me, oh, stop throwing your ideas out there and take them. It's like, all right, cool. I hope they do. And I hope they're great. And maybe I'll be a part of them.
Maybe.
Because I think some people get hung up on ideas like, oh, I got this idea, I'm not going to share it. Great.
And then they never do it.
And you're probably a person that doesn't do anything. And whenever you get it done. So you should probably tell someone, because what I learned is, this is not, like, let's say I invented the chocolate chip cookie here. There's no way to know that someone 3 years before, 8 months before, a day before in Germany invented it too. Does that mean he really invented it? I didn't. We had no, there's so many times people are inventing the same stuff, but have no way of knowing each other. I think people get caught up. So it's like, if you got an idea, and maybe you don't have all the tools for it, lean into someone and do it. Or give it to him and let it, like, there's nothing more exciting than something to come into fruition. And I'll tell these people that don't tell people other ideas, just so you know, 98% of the ideas will fail. So don't worry. They won't happen. So you don't get like, oh no, they're gonna get my $1 million idea, I should get rich. Don't worry, it's gonna fail. It's gonna fail, and it's gonna fail bad. Trust me. Now, if they fail 10, 15 times, they might succeed and then they deserve it. Yeah. But you can work with them. Yeah. But I think that stuff goes hand in hand because the people that want to not hide it, they don't understand. Everything really is teamwork. Even the people that don't have a team sometimes, in reality, whether they have a mentor, whether they leaned on a book, whether it was a quote they read every day, whether it's that wasn't theirs, those words. They're taken from somewhere.
Absolutely.
I think there's very few people that really could say truly that they did it on their own. Like maybe they're doing the work on their own, but at some point someone helped them or someone inadvertently helped them. And any real person successful always admits it. And they also understand, any true successful person understands it's like, if you're really trying to make a difference, you need a team anyway.
100%. You need a mentor even.
That's very ideal. But you need a mentor, you need a team so you could get more done, obviously, because you only got so much bandwidth,
Yeah.
Look what Elon Musk does. That guy's running $3 billion companies. That's insane what he's doing, like being CEO of that. But he still does it. But he's got a gazillion workers,
and
obviously.
he's still at the UFC event.
Yeah, like when
he's still hanging out.
His bandwidth is crazy. Most people don't have that. But even him, he understands team, and like he worked with his brother and stuff like that. Like
he has a strong team, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's why he gets to relax and do all these other fun things.
Well, I think it's having a strong team, and I think like anything, but people get carried away. I think it's creating a system and also understanding how much work you get done. I used to, when I was in my 20s, I had a limited not strength. That'd be nice. Unlimited, not being tired. I'll never be tired, basically. It didn't matter. Unlimited strength, like the Hulk, that'd be cool. I had that too.
You didn't get tired.
Yeah, I'd never had to sleep. And I used to think that was like a superpower. And it's like, yeah, but in reality, probably if I didn't work as late and I got up earlier, I'd probably be more efficient. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes you do got to run, you know, the oil, you know what I mean? Burn the oil and stuff. But definitely as you get older, I think you got to realize it's like, because there's been times like, I got to get this done. I'm like, and I'll sit or fall asleep. I'm like, oh, I should have just went to sleep. Yeah. I got up early. I'm not a night person anymore. This is not conducive. We are getting nowhere.
It's different now at this age.
And I'm like, maybe I should eat. Oh, we eat first and then watch some YouTube. I'm like, then I'll do it. And it's like,
yeah.
So you got to learn. It's like anything you change, you learn your behaviors, like what you could do. So.
Nice. So after college, what did you do?
After college, listen, my path has never been normal, I'll be honest. Ever. After college, I was like, hey, I was working for the psychic.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask about the psychic. Did you say you were the babysitter for his
son? Yeah.
What do you mean? You babysat his son?
Here's the deal. I'm gonna make it short, a little part of this. When I was 18, from 14 to 18, I worked real hard because I had no choice probably. And I worked hard. And I remember paying my first taxes. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm 18. I was like $1,500 in taxes. I'm like, what's wrong with the government? Why would they do this when I'm 18? Oh, this is insane. I go, I'm not gonna say what I thought, but I thought something. I go, okay, how do I not? So like, oh man, when I was like 15, I babysat. I was like, let me find like a high paying babysitting job. So I was like, I want to go. Well, I was dating a girl at the time, and she was working for a CEO, and she was like telling me she's making. I'm like, she's like, yeah, we go on the yacht, and it's like, I'm like, I can go on yachts. I can do this.
I could go on a yacht.
I go on yacht shrimp. I can do this stuff. Nothing to the kid. Like I do this. So I was like, all right. So she actually like, she was going to NYU at the time, and it kind of put me on. I'm like, maybe I should. I was like, I don't want to babysit, but I was like, I can make it work. So I was like, I'm gonna go to school in the city. I'll take early classes. I'll take so I'll be done by, you know, in college, like you could be done by 12 or 1. You could load up, certain whatever you want to do it. So I loaded up always in the mornings, early classes. I got out. I don't know how I found Craigslist. I found one babysitting job on Craigslist. Then it got weird, and I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna be these people anymore. And then, no, it got weird. I was dealing with a divorced mom. Nothing wrong with that, but she had a lot going on. And so I think she was like...
It started off weird because Craigslist, and you finally get babysitter on Craigslist. Not from you, from her point.
Yeah. Well, maybe, right? I don't remember how I felt.
Who searches Craigslist?
This was like only for a year long. But I remember every time when she would come in, I'd leave. She would come in like nightwear, and I'm like, it just seems not appropriate because I'm like 20.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, human male, and I'm like, I don't know what she was trying to do. Looking back, I think I know what she was trying to do. Unfortunately, no stories. Unfortunately, who knows? Yeah. But nothing to write home about. Yeah. No Joey Buttafuoco or anything like that, you know? No reverse Joey Buttafuoco, unfortunately. Yeah. But whatever. But after a while, I was like, yeah, she's much. So then I was telling my mom, I said, I need a babysitting job. My mom found me on Craigslist or something like that. This guy was looking for a babysitter for his kid. He stayed at home schooling. I go meet him. They're super nice, living Upper East Side. Kids playing like Halo every day. I'm like, Halo. And then it's like, this is like a whole nother life on its own, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But this guy became my best friend at one point. Like, I hung out every day with these guys.
The kid or the father?
The father.
Okay.
I still talk to the kid to this day. He's 27 now.
Wow.
He lives in Vietnam.
Nice. Holy shit.
Yeah, like I still talk to the kid to this day. And it became a whole thing working with this guy. And I was like, wow. So from that job, it turned into an emotional thing because he was very large and I cared about the guy and I was trying to help him out. And so after a while, I realized I was like, this guy's taking an emotional toll on me because like I care so much about him and he don't care about himself. That's a lesson in life. Care about yourself first. You will change nobody in life. People will change or want to change. Like I've had stuff I'm currently trying to fix and I had stuff people asked me to change and it wasn't until I was ready to change that I make those changes. But people get caught up and they get emotionally upset with you, not knowing like everyone's at their different time to change or make stuff happen. Man. And so I've learned to like I want people to change stuff, but I've learned like it will happen when it's supposed to happen. And like 100%. Whether you got to give that person a break or push them away for a little bit or just spend less time, you figure out what it is, you know, depending on what you need, what you feel like they need to change so you guys get along. But it was much when I was like 20 and I started noticing, I was like, this is a lot. So I was like, I need another babysitting job. But now I've gotten wise. I'm like, yo, I'm in the city. I go, I'm gonna go to staff. No, I was like, I want to be a estate manager, maybe.
What's
like
that?
run someone's estate, like
Oh,
their mansions and
estate
shit.
manager,
Because I was like, I want to do hospitality. I was like, see, because with this guy, we stayed at so many hotels. He started bouncing from hotel to hotels, like dope hotels. I was like, yo, I like this hotel life. This is dope. We're in the Mercer Hotel. I'm in the Waldorf Towers. I'm staying in all these dope hotels in the city. There was a lot of wild stuff going on in this guy. Like, nothing was normal. That's why I said it's a whole other story. So he's getting my own hotel rooms. He's taking me. I'm literally 24/7 with this guy. After I dropped out of college, I started rocking with this guy.
Wow.
24/7, traveling with him. So then I was like, I really like hotels. I want to be in a hotel. I wanted to work there. And so I went to a staffing agency because I was like, I'll be a butler, like a state manager. I'd be down to it or like something like that where like people put requests in. And I went to the staffing agency and I was like, oh, I see they got like, I found this thing called like celebrity staffing, like they got babysitting jobs and all that. And I'm like, damn, my resume is like literally the craziest babysitting resume ever because I worked for this guy, them, and even when I was a kid, I worked at a group home with like the baddest ass kids. And then I worked at a camp. So I worked with like the best kids in the world to the worst kids. I worked with kids coming out of Rikers. Like, so I know how to deal with everything. And my patience level was like, I got the most patience in the world. And I'm a baby of 5 kids. So like I get like, and I've gotten the most love growing up by my parents, my grandparents. Like I know like how to handle kids of every sort, you know? I believe so at least. So, like I said, you gotta lean into stuff. I noticed that. I was like, yo, even when I went tried, it was like, I found myself around kids. Even when I'm dating some people, it's like this. I don't really choose it. It's like, they're kids. It's wild. It's a wild, wild world, man. It's wild. Like, you don't choose it.
You're the first male I ever heard babysitting.
Yo, on my pistol license says Manny. I said, yo, put that on my pistol. They said, what's your occupation? I said, Manny. They go, what's that? I go, it's a male nanny. You know, I never seen Hulk Hogan from the 80s. You didn't see that movie? That's me. I said, give me my 9 now. Thank you. Yeah, it's on my pistol permit. I left it on there. I didn't change it.
Oh, that's great.
So I went to the celebrity staffing agency and I said, listen, I'm going back to school again. I want a weekend job because I was like, I don't want to like cram all that work and I want to enjoy my life. I was like 21 or I forgot, 21 or something like that. They found me a job just weekends. I was like, I think it was Friday or Sunday, whatever. I was like, perfect. And I also wanted weekends because I don't want to go out. I was trying to get focused.
Oh.
When I was young, I was very focused actually. Now, not so focused. I burnt myself out as a pork chopper. I was doing so good at one point. I burnt my whole joint out. So I had a whole plan. I was like, if I do this, and then I was like, because if I'm not going out, I'm not spending money. If I'm not spending money, I'm not wasting my time. It worked well for a while, but then you do need balance, and everyone's balance is different. So funny enough, I went to these people's house, and I'm not gonna be too specific because they're not known, but whatever. And randomly, someone that was already working there, I knew for 15 years. So I was like, oh. And his family's like my family friend, like one of the workers, like, oh, okay. And he was working with them already. So after I left, they asked him, he's like, yeah, this guy's great, whatever. So I got the job and I worked for this family for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was not the plan. From 21, it wasn't like, yo, what I want to do was be a glorified babysitter, but they were amazing to me. I learned a lot. I got to travel the world, meet amazing people, have great memories, and I even still talk to these kids to this day. And I actually do stuff with them and help some of their friends with even their businesses now because they're all in their 20s. So it's a super cool thing where it's like, there's like one of their friends specifically, he's got an amazing clothing company, super talented, like every so often I'll chop it up with them. Or I'll literally put him in touch with people I know. Or I'll like go down and buy clothes. I actually like his clothes and support him. But it's so cool to like, this kid was like 10 when I met him, and now he's like, wow. You know, I'm not gonna think he's gonna do this. Yeah. And he wasn't into clothing really even as a kid. Like I told him to his face, I said, bro, you didn't even have style when you were younger. It was really sad. Even when you were in high school, you kind of like, I was like, where'd this come from? It's wild. I remember he's like, I was like, yeah, I'm very serious. And when I was younger, I was like, not just, but I was more into it. Like I was rocking Balenciaga and Louboutin, like I actually was like very much into that stuff and name brands. So I noticed it, but yeah, I did it for 8 years. And that was an interesting life, and I was very fortunate. I traveled to Africa, traveled to Europe, and Africa taught me a lot about life. That's where I realized all cliches in life are true. That's why they're cliches. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, oh, what do you need to live? You know, roof over my head, food, and love. And it's like, yo, that's the truest thing you'll ever hear. I was in Africa when it was I don't want to lie to you. It might have been the iPhone 1, but I don't know. It was a crazy iPhone drop, but it was one of the first ones. And I remember, I think it already came out, I went out there, but like everybody was talking iPhones in America. Like it was the biggest thing. And to go to a place, I'm not small-minded, I'm not an idiot, but it's like nobody's talking about something that the whole country's talking about. Like, it didn't throw me off. I'm like, it made me think, I'm like, wait, I'm here and there's nobody talking about this iPhone. And I'm like, they're not talking about it because they don't know about it. I go, you don't miss stuff that you don't know about. Like, You're not gonna be like when I was a kid, I was like, Mom, we need a big screen TV, like those big CRT joints. And it's like, but
if you didn't know it existed.
if you never had a TV, that's why like those tribes that like some tribes there and other areas in the Amazon, it's like, I don't want to say lucky, but it's like not being negligent or ignorant, because not ignorant. It's like not being aware of certain things is almost a blessing, because you're not chasing these things that like, they seem great, but when you eventually walk down this sci-fi path that we're walking down with AI and stuff, like, it only leads to one thing, which is doom and gloom, unfortunately, probably.
Like you said earlier, instant gratification.
Yeah, that, but it's also like, there's no stopping it. Like, it's because you keep chasing it too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, in reality, like, I think the world's pretty okay right now. And like, if we
And
keep
then the
going,
new iPhone comes out.
but I'm even the deeper stuff where it's like, stuff gets easier, but the easier stuff gets, it's like people lose part of the brain. Like, you could write a book on ChatGPT right now. I could write a 500-page book on myself probably, or on Michael Jordan. I never wrote a book right now. Like, that's like, and then I can edit it, make it seem like I'm not afraid of the job thing, but it's like, it's taking away real hard work from people that I think you need, and makes people special. So going to Africa when I was young, it really made me learn, and I saw some amazing things and met some amazing people, like how special like life is and how special nature is. Like one time I was in rainforest, literally walking through, and this lady had her baby swaddled, like the right way. Like where you think, like how you say you're supposed to swaddle, it looks like you can't breathe like that, but it's fine. She's literally going through the forest, tapping trees and getting wine out of trees.
Wow.
And I'm like, we're just walking through looking for butterflies and stuff, like catching butterflies with these guides, catching monarchs and whatnot and 88s. And I'm like, what is she doing? Like, yeah, she's getting wine. She's wine tapping. She's tree tapping. I'm like, what? She's getting wine. I'm like, is she walking through this damn rainforest, these giant ass trees, with her baby on her chest, drinking wine on this beautiful day? I'm like, you kidding me? Like, is it like she's drinking from Mother Nature while her baby's? It's like the crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying. You stop and look at stuff. It's like, this world is incredible. Like, that's not gonna happen over here though.
Nah.
And it's like, and you're not only not gonna see it, no one's gonna feel that. And it's like, wow. So I feel so fortunate. And I got into Africa 5 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
My man. Same family?
Same family.
Wow.
And 5 different, well, I think one time was the same place, but every time was basically different places. So it was like somewhat of a different experience because it's different people, but it just like magnified or made my belief stronger of what I was thinking about. And it was also reinstilling. It's almost like I feel like people go on retreat sometimes. Like you go on a retreat or whatever you do, someone does, and they come back like, oh man, this is what I'm gonna do. And then it's kind of like they lose that gumption because it's like that excitement. It's almost like you put on that first song in the gym. It's like, I'm ready to go. And it's like, damn, this set now is hard. But you might need to, you got to go back to that every year or twice a year, maybe to that retreat to keep, like Tony Robbins probably, people keep going, keeps that excitement for you. So me go back to Africa once a year for 5 years in a row really instilled it. I think if I would have went once, which is a lot of people, which is great to just go once. But I think it's important when something touches you, you feel something, to keep going back, because every time you're learning something a bit different about yourself, not even about it, about yourself, because you're growing too, and then you start finding stuff. So I'm very fortunate to do that because it taught so much about myself and what I want in life. Because I wanted money when I was younger, and I was on a certain path to that, and I was doing it. And money is great, and you should have money, you should be comfortable 100%. And some people want a lot of money, and that's great if that's what they want. But then some people want other stuff where money's not fully involved in it, So it's kind of like, and it's also how you're creating your money, where nothing against some people create money, but I want to, if I'm creating money for myself, I want my value to be felt. I'm not going to say specific jobs I feel like values aren't felt, but there's certain things you do where it's like you're creating money, but what value you're giving to this world, kind of. And it doesn't have to be like changing world or arts and culture or anything, like even just like laying down pipe, you're helping the world. But like, if you're creating, money out of thin air, it's like, it's cool, but what is that doing for people?
Like a crypto millionaire?
Not just, well, that stuff, like, there's a thing value to that. I think more, because I'll tell you, I used to work at Morgan Stanley when I was a senior. Morgan Stanley, at the company I was trading, I was doing 529 plans when I was 18 years old.
Wow,
so, yeah,
18.
Yeah. I would finish school at like 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. in high school, and then I got a job with one of the VPs there, Thomas Burns. Shout out Tom Burns. Hope you're still doing good. He was a sweetheart. But being there, I learned a lot of what I wanted, didn't want to do. And I also was like watching all these day traders. I'm like, it's cool, but I'm like, what are they creating?
100%.
Whether they make money, lose money for their clients today, they're creating wealth, but what do they create off that wealth, Ray? What do they bring in this world? It's almost like the movie Boiler when you watch it, when the kid starts realizing stuff, he's like, damn, what am I doing,
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't at that level. That was that.
Not
Morgan
back then,
Stanley's
yeah.
not doing boiler room. They might have checked the SEC. They probably have some cases, I'm sure. They all do. So they probably, if you're in business, you know what they say. Well, what Ali said. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm in business. But you guys know the saying. So, but yeah, that's my big thing. I think traveling is an important thing for even domestically. This country is so vast and different people and amazing people. I've traveled so much, Middle America, West Coast, East Coast, South. So amazing. I think everyone should travel as much as possible. I think that's what Europe has on America. The fact that you have so many countries so close to each other with different cultures. Like we have all these states touching, but it's like New Jersey's not that different from New York. Certain parts of Georgia, Alabama are very different from New York, but you could drive there, but you're not driving there in 30 minutes. You could fly from England to France. They're not polar opposites, but they're very different cultures, a very different history. So it's like you could be 18 and take a $100 flight. Anybody can take a $100 flight, pretty much. $80 flight, depending on when it was, to France and or take a train.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing they have. That's why I think those people get the world a little better than us when they talk about politics and stuff for themselves. And I think they're a little more advanced with certain things of how to act and be appropriate. And I think that's why they even have their work week figured out a little bit, where it's like they have their siestas, where almost going back to what I'm saying, where you're younger, you're like, let me burn the oil through the night. Like, you don't need to do that. Take a break. You'll be more efficient. Work less. Enjoy life. And if you want to work more, work more. But take the time. I think they kind of have it a little figured out.
Yeah, yeah. We're in this era where there's a lot of promotion on the go-getters. Go now. Don't sleep. Don't do this. And it's like you need some balance. You need some breaks.
You need balance because if you don't, eventually it's like you're gonna either break or it's like you're gonna pull the opposite. It's like
you're gonna miss out on life.
I used to be a big person. And when I was big, it's like anything. It's like I learned my personality is this. It's either I'm gonna be healthy or I'm gonna overly enjoy myself. There's no balance. And I think it's about understanding yourself, because there's people with more, I know people, unfortunately, more serious stuff. I dated somebody that had a serious problem and she figured that out and she had to get it under control. And now she's 10, 12 years sober, amazing woman I know, helping a lot of people out. But she understood that. So it's some people are unfortunate. They got real serious problems. Like me, I grew to be very big. Granted, it was food, so it's a little easier, but I realized I have a control. Should I go anything be healthy? I'm gonna be healthy 90% of the time, or it's I'm gonna be fat 85% of the time. I don't know, but I know there's some people that eat cheeseburgers and work out every day and be cool, and I can't do that. If I'm eating cheeseburger, I'm probably not going to the gym.
So how'd you do it?
How'd I do it?
Yeah.
Ozempic. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, my man.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I used the Walmart brand. I couldn't afford it now.
Store brand Ozempic.
Breaking Bad. Now, went the old way, straight meth. That's why I got this makeup on. I think everyone's got their own path how you gotta lose weight. And for me, there was a couple moments when I was like, all right, this is getting bad. I used to have to roll out of bed. I was rolling out of bed to get out of bed. I'm like, this is pretty bad at this age. And I'm like, and when tying your shoes is not a workout, but it's a struggle. I'm like,
you kind of have to hold your breath.
Yeah.
I was there at one point in my life.
All right.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yep.
And then you realize there's a handful of things in life you have control over. Literally only a handful. And this is why I don't get upset anymore in life. One of the things being in America you have control over is your health to some degree. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff in our food and there's a lot of stuff happening, whatever. That's a whole different story. But for the most part, I believe to be healthy, you need a couple things. Get good sleep, I've learned, and have clean water. We have that in America pretty much free for the most part. So the rest is up to you. You know what I mean? Unless even you could get meals somewhere if you're a homeless person. There's always a way to get food even. So I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, some people are meant to have bigger bodies. I know my body was not meant to be that big because I was always small. So I was like, this is gonna be the worst case if I get any bigger and then something serious happens to me. I go, because this is one time where no way I could blame anybody else. Not that I want to, but it's easy to blame people. And then I still blame people for stuff or find excuses. And I was like, I have nobody to blame. So I was like, it's up to me. So I took that accountability. I go, what do I need? I go, if I get this surgery, I could bypass. I go, and I don't feel like I have to eat for at least 6 months. If I had that cheat code, I said, I think it'll help me. But just like the girls get BBLs, you know what I mean? Y'all need to understand there's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. And a lot of times, the shortcut is the way to a longer path if you do it the wrong way. So, before I got the surgeries, I said, before I'm gonna go into the knife, I go, let me do my own little research, my own little focus group. So luckily, I knew a couple fatties. And I went to them. They had gotten the surgery. And I saw it didn't go so well. And I was like, let me do the math here. My man got surgery 2 years ago, but I don't understand what happened. I thought he took the magic pill. And I realized it's not, stomach is a muscle. It's going to grow back. So it's almost like teaching them how to drive. Like, if you're going to teach your kid to drive like an idiot, then drive like an idiot. If you're going to have that same lifestyle after that surgery, guess what? Same shit can happen. If you're eating the same way the way you got fat, if you're eating the same way again, surprise. And the worst part is what people don't understand is when you're taking these Ozempics, you're getting these surgeries, all the stuff you're doing, since you're eating less, you're actually being malnutrition because you're eating physically less. So unless you are a really good nutritionist, which nobody really is anymore, you can be, but you physically don't eat so much even when you get surgery, you're not even getting all the proper stuff in you. So even with the multi-V, you're just barely getting it. So a lot of people get the surgery and it's like, I don't eat much, I don't take my multi-V, or I eat like crap. So it's like you're eating carbs and sugar again, and drinking carbonation, or whatever it is, or eating steak, but you're not eating greens, and getting all this other stuff you need. And you physically can't because you can't physically eat that much. So you be messing your body up. So it's like, you really got to put effort into it. People think you got to go to the gym and get BBL. Otherwise, maybe your next guest, who knows, we can find you when this shit's happen. Or maybe a success story we can bring on here. We can see. Just go a little south to the Bronx, we can find some.
A little bit of both. The Bronx.
They got them everywhere. But what I'm saying is, everything takes effort, period, in life.
100%.
There's no shortcut. Same thing with Ozempic. You can be on Ozempic, but you keep taking it, you got to keep upping the dosage. That's not good. Anytime you get up dosage, that's never good in life. At the end of the day, you want to have the discipline to deal with something. Anything you use, you want to use for a short time, period in life. You know what I mean? And create that balance. That's the ideal situation. So
let's get to the details. What'd you do?
Oh, well, I told myself this. I said, hey, Oren, we're going to get this surgery. They're going to cut you open. It'd be pretty sad if after they cut you open, you got fat again. I think most stuff is that simple.
Talk with yourself.
Yeah. I think a lot of people need to. And it was out loud talk like that. And there was monologues. But I think most stuff, like, whether you want to be successful, it's like it's not like, when I figure out a formula, most stuff, like, we know what to do. So what I do, I ask my doctor, what's the first day I can work out? I lined up I think with anything you want to do, you got to realize what your weaknesses are so you can make sure you don't have to even think about them. That's a trick with anything where it's like, okay, if I'm not good at writing, I should probably team with someone who's good at writing. I don't want to be on Instagram. I should team up with someone who's good at Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is in life you're doing. So for me, to lose weight, I still got the surgery. I'm probably not going to eat as much, but who knows what's going to happen. So I said, I want to get a trainer because if I have someone pushing me, but I said I need the right trainer because I like to joke around a lot and I don't need to be pushed. I said, and my brother who's Marine John, he was like, I'll train you. I go, John, I love you. I love you. I go, but I don't need you to tell me one more rep. I said, I'm going to give one more rep if I want to give one more rep. I'm there because I want to be there, bro. Like, I'm not going to be an Olympian. I ain't trying to hit 300 the bench. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get in shape. I'm not trying to get hurt. Because I know how this is. People, I'm only in shape, then you get hurt. It's like a wrap. So he introduced me to somebody, this lovely lady, Rachel Cooper. And so the first day I was able to work out, I went to her, told her I got the surgery. I said, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to work out. I said, I'm not going to play professional sports. Don't hurt me. I said, I'm trying to look good and be very strong. That's it. I said, I want to be very strong and look good. That was it. And so she's like, I got you. And so I trained with her for at least 6 months, 3 days a week. And then the other 2 days, I went to Orange Theory. So I had 5 days filled. And my other 2 days, I'd walk or run by myself on the weekends. And then the most important part is this. Because I knew that when the eating came to be bad. So I ordered all my meals ahead of time. I didn't make any meals. So I always carried my meals with me. I stopped doing dinner meetings with people. Because dinner meetings was when you go out to any meal at a restaurant, the reason it tastes good is because they use butter and they use stuff to make it taste good. it ain't like unless you're going to like a really healthy restaurant, like they're like, no, we're gonna try our hardest to make it taste good and be healthy. No, here's butter, here's lard, here's like that's it.
Yep. Fry this, dip this.
So I was like, I know right now it's almost like being an alcoholic. I probably shouldn't go to the bar. I probably shouldn't go to a restaurant for dinner because you're eating. I'm gonna sit there. What? Yeah. So it took a while, and then one night I went out and I realized I was able to be normal again. I was like, oh, this is horrible. And then I went out for a bit. I'm finally back, I think now. But yeah, so that was my little weight loss journey.
Nice.
But I think anybody trying to do it, just do it and start slow. Don't do just anything like there's a balance to it.
Yeah.
You try to be too healthy at first or this, that, it's like it's not gonna work out.
Yeah, because I forgot how they say it, but there's always the pull, the opposite.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely exceptions to rules. I'm not gonna say people can't do it. So if you feel like you do it, do it. But I think if you do it balanced, you're gonna be better. And I also think it's the healthier way too for yourself.
Yeah, like if you go cold turkey and just go straight healthy, you're going to relapse.
I also
you
think,
need to balance it.
If my suggestion was, I did for a while, if you're really trying to be healthy and you want to do it the right way, you go get a full blood test. That way you see, because some people might be like, damn, I don't know why I'm gaining weight. They may have a thyroid problem.
100%.
And it might be as simple, I want to say as simple as that, might be something that they didn't know they had an issue, and it's nothing they can even change until they take the right medication, or it might be deficient in something or low in certain levels where it's like, oh, I need to change this or do this, and that would just change their body composition, maybe not drastically, but make those differences where you start seeing the improvement, and it kind of gives you that drop. It's like anything. Once you see that improvement, like, damn, I kind of see like, all right, I kind of, then you feel it more.
Even sleeping more, you notice you feel better throughout the day. You wake up feeling
Let me
better.
tell you something. When I first got that surgery, I had sleep at 10 p.m. on my phone.
Wow.
And not to turn on to 7 a.m. Let me tell you something. I probably reversed my face skin age-wise like 8 years. People told me I looked so young, and I was trying to drink so much water. It was tough because I just got the surgery, but I was drinking a good amount of water, and I had a cancer in me. Like, I think if you stay hydrated with whatever, hopefully good water, and you get good sleep, whatever, maybe 6 hours or whatever, but like good on it, your phone off, no screen before bed. Maybe you put on some gray noise, or you listen to Alan Watts to go to bed, whatever your thing is, you know what I mean? Some peaceful guy, whatever it is. Like it changed your life, and I used to hop out the bed, if a spring went through my mattress, like I was like ready to go. You become on a mission. Like I was on a mission after a while, you don't even need an alarm. You start realizing every time before the alarm is going on, you start waking up, whatever time your alarm is.
100%.
And I think that's also how you know you're doing what you're supposed to do. When your lifestyle gets in line with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think everyone's supposed to be super healthy. Like, everyone has their own thing or has to work out every day. But I think it should be a part of it. In some ways, you do something and you find that medium. Like, for me, I know what I like to do now, and I know what makes me happy, so I do it. And that's what keeps you going easy, as opposed to, like, when I travel, it's hard because it throws me out of my rhythm. And that's why I realized, like, it really is important to have your own system or a routine. That's the word, routine, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, traveling throws you off.
Yeah.
100%. I was just in Texas at the Tyson fight.
Oh, wow. How was that?
Oh, it was sick. The event was sick, yeah.
Do you think it was staged?
This is my opinion on it.
Please, we know.
So, it looked like the first round Tyson was in.
Yeah.
And Jake was petrified. He was running away, jumping scared. He'll throw a punch, jump back. And then he realized, and then he got hit once, and then he realized Mike is not fast, strong, none of that. He's not scary at all. And then he realized he could knock this guy out. So he just started playing with him for the rest of the 7 rounds. That's what it looked like to me. Yeah. At the end, everybody was so sad when they left the arena. It was just quietness, and everybody just walked out.
I think the lesson we take from that is we could all still be bamboozled, because whoever the fuck thought a 58-year-old was going to come in, like my man last boxed 4 years ago.
That's me.
All of us.
I thought he was winning that one.
It's not just that. We want him to win. Plus, First of all, he looked
the promo clips.
Hold on. He looked like a specimen.
That's what I'm saying.
First of all, he looks amazing.
It was the promo. Netflix is behind the promo clips.
It was all AI. First of all, nobody was in there.
I bet it was. I bet it was.
I don't know. But my point is, even to this day, you could be an adult. You gotta be careful in business and life. You know what I mean? It's like people fool you all the time, either on purpose and with a make money, or even, God forbid, a bad agenda. So you gotta be careful.
100%.
You know.
So. We got to babysitting ended, and then in the beginning we got to the art and the car and the auto body. So after the babysitting, that's when the art and the auto body came?
After the babysitting, I helped my brother, the 3 brothers, I have 2 brothers, we lived together in Harlem, actually.
Nice.
In an apartment. Yeah?
Nice still?
No, did.
Oh, okay.
Nice?
Yeah, that's nice.
3 boys?
If you guys got along.
3 boys? Nah, it was nice. I love my brothers. I'm kidding. Nah, we got along.
But boys are a lot.
And we're very different. One was a Marine. My second oldest brother, my other brother was a wild boy. You know what I mean? So we're all very different. But he, at the time, had a phone number that he bought and had for 2 years, and I had a name called Precision Car Service, and I said, what are you doing with it, man? And he did nothing with it. And so we were going to start an exotic rental company. We went to, it was 08 or 09, whatever. We were going to start an exotic rental company, car company. We went to a convention or whatever, one of those seminars in Vegas. And obviously, 08 might have been the worst time to start anything luxury, since that was a crash.
Yeah.
I don't think people wanted to spend $1,500 on a car then. That wouldn't be fiduciary responsible, you know? So we went there anyway. We thought about it. And like, yeah, this is probably not a good idea to buy any sort of exotic car and spend $150,000 on it. So we then pivoted. Like, hey, we live in New York. We know people using car service, and Uber was not even, I don't think, a thought yet. I'm like, hey, we could do a car service. We get to own a car. We like cars. So we started doing that. And then I told my brother, you know, when we do this car service stuff, the money ends when we drop these people off. I go, and it's not much money there. I go, we got to be a concierge. I go, and that goes back to me enjoying hotels and hospitality. I have this thing where, even for the psychic, like I book this hotel and I like get upgrades and dealing with all this stuff where it's like, I like people trying to be like, yo, can you get this? And like, think it's not possible, make it happen. Like I enjoy that. That's what's elite. Like, not a lot of people want to be tasked with something that's almost impossible, or even just like, hey, make this ready. Like, for some reason, I like to do it. I don't know why. So I was like, we should do a concierge. So I was like, let's start offering Broadway tickets, reservations, everything. And so that's how we became a concierge company, actually, within like 5 months after opening as a car service. So that was that, and we did that for about 12 years together. We bought a lot of fun cars. We did a lot of exotic car rallies, met a lot of great people. We got screwed on a lot of deals as well, like any business person would.
Of course.
We didn't get screwed. We learned lessons. You know what I mean? That's what those are called, lessons. And then you take those lessons and hopefully don't exactly repeat it, or hopefully can learn multiple ways from that lesson, depending how bad that lesson was. And then hopefully those stories at least tell good stories at a dinner that maybe you can close a deal later that someone can relate to even. You know what I mean? You never know how that story can work. You know, people, that's when people get confused. Oh man, this is bad. No, it's not bad, man. Maybe that bad thing happened, but maybe that bad thing is like, wow, that happened to you too? I like you.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
You know? Hasn't happened yet. I'm waiting. So I know it's going to be a big deal. I know it's going to be a big deal, you know? So I'm patient.
It's gonna happen.
I'm patient. I'm just going to the wrong restaurants right now. I got to go to better restaurants. Got to go to those truffle out-of-season restaurants when they got the money.
Yeah,
you know,
out-of-season truffle.
Yeah, those restaurants are where it's at. Doing a meeting there is like, spend some stories. So that was 12 years, and that was a lot of meeting a lot of amazing people, creating a great network, having a lot of fun with my brother and stuff. And then just like anything, Larry, so you want to pivot to different stuff. We were into cars, and it's like, hey, people were asking us for, we had a friend that owned a shop, Jose, he owns a bunch of body shops called No Limit in different areas and stuff. And so we had been looking for a while. Prior to getting the shop there, we were looking for like 4 years in different areas in Jersey. I lived in New Jersey at one point with my brother, and it just kind of fell back to here. So we bought the shop off these nice guys, Ronnie and Russ, called R&R. It was called a Sasson Auto Body. I think a lot of people know that. It was named that since 1959, I think, or 1960. And it's fun. It's like we're in a great spot on the main street, so we meet all these local people, help them out. And then it's also like anything where it's like we give back to the community. You've been to some of our events, you know. We try to do fun stuff, and I'm excited to do more and more stuff with the community and grow it bigger. Because like anybody, I think everyone should take pride in their community, either where you come from or where you work in. And I've met so many great small businesses and great people who want to help each other out, and it's beautiful. Like Hannah, who introduced us from Sir and Her, does amazing stuff. The skin product of her as well.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Great advertisement. Well, I'm not kidding. Not. Yeah. No, Hannah, good job. It's just nice to put yourself out there, and it's great when you're in the community and meeting people, you know? So I'm excited to do more and more of that this year. It's about to be cold, so it ain't gonna be too much of that, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some more fun stuff when it gets warm out, but we have some small stuff we'll be doing in the winter in our shop that we're gonna try to do. We also wanna talking to some younger programs around here, like Saunders, trying to get the kids there to do trade. They want to do trade skills and stuff since they're so close to us. So we're trying to look to do stuff like that. So if any kids want to learn how to do body work or be in the body shop world, you can literally come down and talk to us anytime you want at 254 Somerville Road. Anytime, literally. I have people come there all the time. We're happy to talk to them, you know?
That's awesome.
You know?
How can people find the body shop? Are you on social media anywhere?
Yeah, it's just No Limit Yonkers on Instagram, and I believe it's the same on TikTok.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything you want the people to tune into, and any last advice you want to leave the people with?
I think I gave a lot of advice, I'll be honest.
You did. That's why it's up to you if you have anything
I think maybe
else.
too much, and I usually don't. I'm trying to consult, and I think I maybe gave too much advice, honestly. Will there be ads played at least? I'm kidding. I got a lot of advice given.
Yeah.
I wish you told me to ask this, because I would have ended with a great quote of somebody's, because I love quotes, but I can't think of a great quote right now that I think would stick. One quote I like that I think is relevant, and it kind of goes to like everything we've been talking about working hard, is the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. Whether you want to call it a climb or journey, a path, whatever word you want to use. And I think in today's age, if we could grab our phones right now, go on social media, you could find a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 55-year-old, and you think he's on top of that mountain. And a couple of things. He may be, he may not be. But you have no idea what he went through to get there. And like I said, all cliches are true. I used to, and I think anybody, unless you're not human, thought the grass is always greener. And I've been privileged or psycho enough to find out when I thought the grass was greener, how did they get there? And I go, whoa, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to go through that. And I'm like, maybe it's not greener in all facets of my life. And I realized once you see it a couple of times, like, hey, and you get comfortable with, this is my path and I'm cool with it. And understand, like, this is how I got to go through it, and this is what I'm going to go through, and you're happy that it's your path, and you understand it. I think a lot of people are caught up with, like, you can watch other people and be motivated if you want, or whatever word you want to use that they do for you, but I think getting caught up, like, I want to be the next, you could want to be the next that, but you should still be you, you know?
100%.
I think that's the biggest thing, but I think people are too caught up being like, snap a finger, I need it tomorrow, and that's just not realistic with stuff, especially stuff that lasts. There are exceptions to rules, but like anything that lasts in life, relationship-wise, again, there's exceptions. Business, dating, friends, it's got to be built on something, and I think those things are experiences, and part of experiences as you going through your path and your journey, you know?
So, 100%.
I think that's a good.
I think that's enough gems for this one. Man, we got to do it again. This guy's full of gems. This guy's a jewelry store over here.
Yeah, maybe that's the next business. I am Jewish. Jewelry, you know what I mean? Or comedian, whichever.
Oh, if you made it this far, you're a champion. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Peace and love.
Have a good one.